Hello and welcome back to Robinsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne. Please do like and comment and subscribe and share this video if you like this video. And I hope that you will. So, I have been doing some watercolor painting recently, and I thought I would just sort of share this. This is one of my favorite ways to paint with watercolor. This is called On Wet. And my kids used to do this in their Waldorf school when they were little tiny baby children. It was really fun. They used to take the whole piece of paper and put it in this big pot of water, like a dish tub of water, and get it all soaking wet. And then the teacher would go around with these paintbrushes that she had dipped in either red or yellow or blue, and the kids would get to just watch the paint do what paint does. So I do not have a brush with a pot of paint. I just have this. And let's see what kind of paintbrush we have. Actually, I'm going to take this one. It's a little round. Has the number 8 on it. So let's start with blue. Get a bunch of water in there. So I watch on YouTube people playing with watercolor paints, and they put the paint up there and then they wet it down. And so you get these really kind of pale, sweet colors. I actually like going straight from the little cubes, and there's so many colors here, they're already sort of blended. So I love this. Isn't that cool? Just how it spreads. So this is my favorite. Now the end goal here is to get water and color all over the page. And I'm a part of a group at the Camden Library in Maine that has out front this wonderful box of artist trading cards. So you can bring in a card and you can, bring in a card and take a card. You can bring in 3 cards and take 3 cards. It's really fun. And there are all kinds of people who contribute to the library ATC group. It's really fun. There are men and women and little tiny children. There are people who come back, families who come back week after week, and summer after summer. It's summer as I'm making this video. So there are lots of folks from out of town who come and come and contribute to the box. It's really fun. It's really cool. And there's all kinds of different art styles that get represented. There's collage and watercolor like paintings, like people who, Goddess bless them, know how to paint, like the rocky coast of Maine, or houses, or people, or Yeah. So you can tell I'm not working very hard painting specific things right here. I'm just messing around, watching the colors spread. I just think these little fluffy things, it looks like mohair yarn or something. So you can just spend a nice long time messing around with colors. And there's this one other thing I want to show you that I learned. I don't know, I can't even remember where I learned it. Maybe on YouTube. So let's let this rest for just a minute. And oh, so I want to show you this thing. So this is a little spray bottle, and it just has regular water in it. And look what happens to the paint when you spray a little extra water on it. It begins to move out a little bit more. That one got spots on it. Now this line over here, that's kind of hard and it didn't feather out very much. Look how much it starts feathering when you respray it with water. So that's a thing to play with too, is adding more spray. So I wanted to show you that now that I've gotten my desk all wet. So let me move this up and I will exchange it for 2 dry pieces that I did. So you can tell this had a lot of wet going on. And oh, another thing I saw on YouTube somewhere, I probably first saw it years ago. Let's take a dry brush. If I had a brush and I dipped it into paint, and then if you take something kind of hard, you can't take your finger, but I find something hard, and you tap, you get these wonderful little polka dots of color, which is fun. It tends to, I think, just sort of enrich the paper as a whole. So, you know, these spots all got pretty wet and they're kind of cloudy. They look like a cloud. And the color isn't very specific. This was a drip. And I like how the edge of the drip, right there and right there, kind of holds more of the paint. It's like the paint kind of disperses to the very edge of what was wet at the time. But then you can also take like a little round brush. This is very little. Does this have a number on it? No, it does not. I think I got this at one of the big box stores. But you can dip this in paint and get a pretty solid looking line, which is nice. Here's some more lines that don't diffuse into the wet, so the paper must have dried out a little bit before I started painting some of these lines. So they just sit nicely on the surface without all of that lovely fuzzy mohair look. And it's nice having the juxtaposition, you know, of the fuzzy stuff next to the kind of nice clear edge stuff. So that's fun to play with. And then I was thinking about making ATCs. So you can do this in a couple of ways. you can measure, yeah, you can see this. You can measure 4 by 6 and make a postcard. Now, look, there's the paper, you know, the whole paper. I've got a postcard right here and a postcard right here, and the rest up here are going to be artist trading cards. So let me show you how that works out. And if you're going to send this, there are 2 ways schools have thought about this. If you're going to send this through the mail as a postcard, or even if you're going to hand out an artist trading card, you know, at your local library or something, I want to show you, this is really fun. You can spray over the top of your big page, put it inside a cardboard box and spray over it. And I don't have the can, but this company, Krylon, this is repositionable adhesive, but Krylon also makes thing called workable fixative, and they also make like a spray that's just like an acrylic cover up, and I can't remember the name that they call it, but anyway, you can find this at art stores, of course, big box stores, online. I think you can also sometimes find some of these things at your local hardware store. So that would just take the paint, and like if rain got on your postcard, it wouldn't change your postcard. So you can do that, or you can just send your cards through the mail. Now look at how that turns out when all you have is just one small space of the big paper. So let's talk about this again. These are the 2 artist trading cards. So I think I said postcards are 4 by 6 and artist trading cards are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. This is the size of a regular playing card or baseball trading card or something, and you can always go online and ask around for that. So these are kind of fun because you get just a small little shot of, like, what if this was, I don't know, something from outer space? A beam of light coming through. This kind of looks like a person, if that's the head, and arms falling through air. Or this is the leg and the face, and the person's arm and their back, and stars in the sky. Yes, you can make stories up about all the different, it's like looking at clouds, you know. So this is a fun thing to do, to play, and I want to just show you, here is another page that I did, and I also drew on the card with a Posca pen. And I think, yeah, this is a pale blue, this is the dark blue, this is the purple, and you can see how the watercolor sort of, like, this must have been really wet, and this right here where the paint kind of breaks up must have been pretty dry. So yeah, so you can add things on top of this, In this little set of cards, I painted some, I don't know if you can tell, but this is actually glued on. This heart is a separate thing. So I painted all these hearts, and you can tell there are different areas where the paint was wetter or drier. This must have been pretty dry, all those little speckles. And I've got some drawing too on these cards. I used, they look like China pens, but they're really kind of art pencil. I mean China pencils. But they were really kind of art pencils. So there's kind of blotches of parts that were wetter and drier. And there's that thing again where the paint kind of, the pigment of the watercolor kind of goes to the edge of where it's wet and then it stops, and so it turns out to be a little darker. Oops, did I show you that properly? Here is a set where I added little cutout pictures that I had drawn and rubber stamped. And then I think I shrunk them all down. This original picture is like 8 by 8, well, 8 by 4, something like that. And this is a rubber stamp that I think was like that big, and I just shrunk it down on my copier and then printed it on colored cardstock. Another stamp, another person. This is, I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, there's the shimmer. Gold cardstock. I got that, I think, at Michael's. And you can see the blue watercolor happening behind. And I did these little frames on the card again with this China pencil. So, yeah. So you can play with putting some drawings or flowers or whatever you've got extra on there. And then this set, I played with drawing on, when the page was big, I drew with a big fat marker, and I drew with one of these excessively cool gold markers. These are from Pilot. And they come out, yeah, you can really see the shimmer on this flower and on these little dashy lines. This pen comes out really looking metallic. It's one of the greatest magic. It's one of the greatest magic pens, and also metallic pens that I know of. Like, lots of other metallic pens have their places in life, but this one's the best. And you have to shake it. And it's one of those ones where you depress the point to get the ink flowing. So this is a scribble in a black marker, just like this, only black. Yeah, so you can play by adding different marks, by collaging different images onto your cards. You could sew into your cards. You could add, stuff like this. Jewels. Yeah, you can do almost anything on them. So this is really fun. And I just wanted to share because I seem to be on an artist trading card spree at the moment. So I wish you artistic sprees of your own, and lots of color and lots of fun. I blow these wishes out across the planet so we all can have fun. And I will see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.